everyone, and welcome to the Totally Online Gaming Group YouTube channel. My name is Jason, and today I want to help you Dungeon Masters learn what to do to actually run games in Talespire. But first, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and comment subscribed below in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond to each and every one of you. Okay, so you're new to Talespire, or maybe not, but you're about to run a game in Talespire for your players. Well, there's a lot of things that I kind of learned the hard way running games in Talespire for my group. And I want to help you guys learn from my mistakes so your game can be 1,000% better. Well, first off, this whole thing is going to be a series. And this is part 1 of that series. So for this series, I'm not going to get into a ton of detail on how to use all the different tools in Talespire. For that kind of help, I've actually included links below to some amazing streamers and YouTubers who have done videos on how to use all the different tools and things in Talespire. And so if you want to get into that, I highly recommend you follow those links and check them out. It's worth it. Now, let's get into the meat of things. So, in Talespire, and you'll see I've got this Talespire map sitting up here. Da-da-da, Talespire map. All right. In here, the very first thing you're going to want to do is decide what kind of battle map you want. Well, you can make your own in Talespire, or if you can go to Tales Tavern, include the link in the comments below as well, you can check them out, and you can import slabs or even whole boards straight from there into your copy of Talespire. Now, once you've got that in your copy of Talespire, and you've got your encounter designed, and you've decided what you want to do with it, now comes the hard part. How do I get my players into this whole thing and, not running amok before I'm ready? Because I've come across that problem where I've dropped my players in on a map, and I didn't have everything set up in, to deal with, oh, my bad guy over here or this over there. And my players just kind of started running amok around the map with their minis, because who doesn't want to start just moving their mini around a 3D environment when you've got the chance? I mean, it's fun, okay? I've done it myself. So this is something that you have to think of ahead of time. So in your prep work, before your actual game, you take your map, and one of the first things I do is I figure out with my encounter, all right, what do I want to have for the encounter? What, you just build it out as you normally would. Let's say I've got, 4, low-level adventurers in my party, and I'm going to throw them up against a couple goblins. So I'm going to go into D&D Beyond, or go into Talespire. I'm going to go and I'm going to find whatever it is I'm looking for. So let's grab us some goblins. And let's say we'll just grab some basic goblins for this. And I am going to put them wherever I plan on having my encounter. So let's just give an idea here. I'll put my goblins over here, let's say. And maybe I got one kind of hiding behind this bush and another one over there. I'm going to drop them into place where I want them. Well, the next thing is, I need to know where I'm going to have my party start this encounter. Usually it's, you kind of have a basic of idea of where they're going to come into a scene. Now, that doesn't mean they can't surprise you and things change, but, maybe, you can plan ahead a little bit for encounters, just based on how you design them. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my party members. So I'm going to come over. I've got, unique characters and things like that. So okay, here's one of my party members, let's say, and I'll say that they start this encounter, and I'm just using some unique things that I made here a long time ago. I'm just dropping these in, and we'll just grab one other thing. Just grab a human barbarian. There you go. Yeah. That's my party. Yes, a little strange, I know, but that's what they are in this one. So now I've got my party and my bad guys all located where I want them. Now the main problem is dropping the party into this map, and they just decide, oh, hey, I'm going to start moving around, and they just start running around and doing things. That can cause all sorts of problems because maybe you're not quite ready for them to start running because you just dropped them into the map. So what you set up ahead of time is a few things. One, I'm going to use a marker. I'm going to put a marker right there. Okay, so it's close to where my party members are. And I've got their characters here. And what I've done with their characters is I will have assigned each of their characters to who controls it. So player permissions, and I choose, which player has permission to run which character. So I can go, okay, that person, that's the player, they now can control that character. So I make sure their characters are set up, they got control, everything's good. But then I've got this marker. Okay, this is important because this allows me to bring my players in from another map into this map right at this place, and it focuses them down into this spot. So now they can see, all right, here we are on the map. This is what everything is. Well, maybe I don't want them to see absolutely everything. For example, I've got these two goblins kind of hidden back here. The line of sight is a real thing in here. So if a character does not have actual line of sight, like for example, let's say this guy here, looking this way, if he doesn't have line of sight to this goblin way over here, then the player that's in control of him will not be able to see that goblin on the screen. Well, maybe your idea is that this goblin is supposed to be hidden. Okay, well, line of sight and hidden are kind of two different things. I don't want them to notice this guy right off the bat unless they have a really high passive perception that, say, beats his stealth, or they roll perception to see if there's anything else out there and they beat his stealth. So I'm going to select on that guy and choose hide. Same with this one. Hide. Okay. Now the players won't be able to see them even, if they have line of sight on them as soon as you drop them into the map. They'll only see these three out front. Okay. So that's one thing to set up ahead of time. What things you want hidden. Okay. Another thing is when you bring the players in, I mentioned bringing them in from another map. Okay. I always like to have a waiting map. One where you can put the players on, have them sitting in there. Maybe it's just a blank map. Maybe you actually build something in there or import something from Tales Tavern just so they have something to look at and be like, oh, cool. But that way, you can wait until you are ready. You can be going through, doing some RP, some elaborate storytelling and description to set the mood. And then, well, let's fetch all players. Boom. All the players come from that board to here, and you're set. They're in position. So is this one. So you can say roll initiative. Or if at this point you had a description that you wanted to give and some specific visual you wanted to put out for them, well, that's what the turn-based the cutscene mode is all about. Okay, I can go to this cutscene mode, and in here I can grab a kind of a screenshot of what I'm looking at, and I can send them that visual. And while I'm in the cutscene mode, they can't move their characters, so you don't have to worry about them running amok while you're showing them and describing to them the scene that is laid before them. And then when you're ready, you go, okay, everyone, roll initiative. And you can just hop right over into turn-based mode and start getting everyone's initiative, putting it on the initiative tracker, and going from there. Okay? Or you can go to exploration mode if you're just going to have them explore the area. Maybe there's no enemies for them to encounter right here. Maybe it's just a map that they're starting to explore and the enemies are hidden somewhere else or further into the map. So those are some things that you'd want to do ahead of time. Make a waiting map, okay? Just a board that you can leave the players on. Set up your encounter in the map you want to have the encounter by putting your monsters, NPCs or whatever in the positions you want them. Maybe hiding them so that the players don't see them right away. Perhaps setting up a cutscene. So let's move in here. Let's say you wanted them to see this. So you went, okay, cutscene, let's grab a shot. Here it is. I got it. That's good. Now, when you're ready to hop the players into this scene, I just go, boom, fetch all players, and then immediately to the cutscene and send them that shot. They now saw the shot that I took, and that's what's on their screen. So now you can do your description. So those are some things you can do ahead of time to help kind of lay out your map in Talespire and make it a little bit easier for you to get everyone where you want them to be at the time you want them to be there. All right, last thing we're going to go through for this episode is setting the scene. Okay, besides giving them cutscenes to look at, maybe you want to have some ambiance. Well, let me go ahead and I am going to get rid of the music here for just a little bit. So if you'll hold your horses for just a second. All right, so I'm getting rid of the music because maybe I want to set a scene. So here, atmosphere settings. I'm going to go to my atmosphere settings, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an atmosphere setting block or marker. Okay, so right here, create GM block from the settings. So first I can set my settings here. Maybe I want some kind of music or some ambient noise. Ambient noise, let's say we're in a city. What do we got here that might be good ambient noise for a city? Ooh, you know what? Let's go medium rain. And then we can set the volume where we want. Okay. Music. Let's add some music. Let's try this. Or actually. Here we go. Battle. Goblin attack. Okay, so I can set that up. Then I can also decide, well, how do I want the lighting to look and things like that. Well, let's make this into the evening. I can change the position of the sun a little bit. Maybe I want to have some fog because it's rainy out. And we can make it a little like that. I can add some different effects. My exposure, I can bring that down. Some post effects. Let's go, I can try different options. Warm, frozen. Okay, that looks kind of more rain-like, a rain-like setting. And then I create my GM block. And I can just throw that right under there, save that and close. Okay. Now, I can go back into my settings, reset to default. So I've got nothing. But now, I could either leave exactly the settings on the board I want. And then when I am ready to bring everyone in, I can, hey, let's fetch all players. Let's apply my board settings. Let's jump to the cutscene. Bam, there's the cutscene. Do my description of the scene. And then when I'm done, roll for initiative, everyone. Okay. So that's a few things you guys can do in order to prep your board and make everything ready to go for the encounter you have planned for that evening. Or, for maybe you have multiples. Set them up, set multiple ones up. All right. That's going to be it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to be talking a little bit more about ambiance and changing it to be a little more dramatic. And we're going to look at what are some of the best methods to cut away and actually see different levels of like multi-story buildings or dungeons and all that, so that you can see what's really going on with everything and don't have to worry too much about, oh, I got to move around in certain directions or ways just to see what's happening down here. We'll talk about those things and more in the follow-on episodes. So please don't forget to like, subscribe. Again, comment below that you subscribed. I'll do my best to get back to you and try to comment on each and every comment that is put up there. And we hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to see you guys again in the next one. And we will catch you next time.